Hey makeup friends! If you've ever placed an order from Sephora, which if you're watching my channel you probably have, then you're aware that you can get free samples when you check out. And they also have these things called beauty offers where they have a selection of items that you can choose from. You use a little code and you get a deluxe size sample of whatever that product may be. What I thought I would do in today's video is go through 10 items that I received either free samples of or one of those beauty offers for, and I was so impressed by the sample that I bought the full size. Let's do this. Before we get into the video, I want to welcome you back to my channel, or if you are new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and on my channel we like to mix beauty, brains, and the occasional F-bomb. Really quickly, the makeup that I have going on today on my eyes is from Viseart, and it is the Warm Edit. And on the lips is a product that we're going to talk about, so what better segue than this? The first item that I have picked up based on a deluxe size sample are these Bobbi Brown Crushed Lip Gloss Oil something. What are they called? The Crushed Oil Infused Gloss. So I received the little deluxe size sample here. This one is in the shade Free Spirit, just a really neutral sort of beigey pink kind of color, but I really liked the formula. So I picked this one up. This one is in the shade Love Letter, so a little bit more on the pinky side. And then recently in the Sephora sale, I went ahead and I picked this one up, and that is what is on my lips today. This one is in the shade Hot Streak, and as you can see, it looks like it's going to be a really bright, warm red, but once applied, it's a lot more toned down, and I really like that about this product because sometimes I want a red lip, but I don't want like a red lip, if you know what I mean. And this kind of fits the mark because you still get the color, but it's not that intense, and so I find that it's a little bit more wearable. And what I really like about these products is the formula. It feels very nourishing on the lips. It's very hydrating. It's not sticky at all. It's a little bit thinner than your traditional lip gloss, and yet there is still enough longevity that it's not like a lot of other lip oils where it just sort of disappears really quickly. So they say that this is an oil infused gloss, and I think that's the perfect description because it really is the perfect mixture of the two different kind of finishes. And these are products that I just really, really enjoy, and I'm very glad that I got the little sample because I'm really not that familiar with Bobbi Brown's line. I don't have very much, if anything, from her line, to be honest. I think these might be it. I had a palette at one point, but I wasn't super impressed with it. So I would not have picked these up if it hadn't have been for the sample. So while we're on the topic of lip products, let's talk about another one that I have beat to death on this channel. You know I love it. This is the lip gloss from Pat McGrath. This one in particular is in the shade Flesh Fantasy. I do have a couple of others, but basically what was my gateway to this product was one of the little trio samples. I fell in love with the formula. One of them was actually in the shade Flesh Fantasy, and that is what prompted me to buy the full size because I used that that little sample all the way up to the very last drop, and I love it. This one I have put a very good dent in, although you can't really see the progress mark. I know how many times I've worn it, and it is near constant. I love this lip gloss. It has the right amount of pigmentation to it. Again, there's no stickiness. It doesn't feather outside of my lip line. It doesn't produce those little strings that sometimes show up between your lips. It doesn't get gunky, nothing of that sort. It just stays where it's supposed to for a relatively long period of time, considering it's a gloss. You're not going to get hours upon hours of wear out of this, but it's a lip gloss. I doubt you expect that you will. It's just a very comfortable formula. I love that it's not so slippery that it feels gross on the lips, but again, not sticky. And it has a really nice sort of buttercream kind of scent to it. Not overpowering, just a little bit of sweetness, which just sort of heightens the experience, if I'm being perfectly honest. So these are glosses that I talk about all the time on my channel with good reason. Absolutely love them. So before we move on with more makeup products, let's take a little sidestep into the areas of fragrance, hair care, and skincare because I do have one for each. So first up for skincare, this guy here from Pharmacy. This is the Green Clean Makeup Melt Away Cleansing Balm. I think this is my second or third full size of this scent. This is the original one. It doesn't actually have a descriptor for what the scent is. It doesn't say on here, but it's almost citrusy, but not quite as harsh as what like lemon scent would be. I think maybe more along the lines of like a watered down kiwi. I'm not sure, but I really like the smell of this. It just smells clean and fresh, but they've also come out with some limited edition scents as well. So during the recent sale, I picked up the sweet apple, I think it was. I haven't used it yet because I'm trying to focus on this one, but I picked up the apple scented one. And during the holidays, they also had a cherry scented option, which straight up smells like almond paste to me. And I love that smell so much. Like I could literally just sit and huff that little container all night and I'd be perfectly happy. So this is one of those products that I just find really easy to use. It comes with like a little spatula, you just scrape a little bit out. And frankly, you need less than what you think you're going to need. So there was a little bit of a learning curve with this one, but I figured it out. A little goes a long way. It breaks down everything on your face and doesn't leave like a weird film on your skin. I do go in with a cleanser after I've used this and just do a second washing of my face, but this really does break down the makeup so easily. And I just really enjoy this. I did have a sample of it and then I kept getting that same sample every time that there was the option for it. I'd even trade in like 100 points or whatever to get like a deluxe size sample. And then I finally figured out I could just buy this and then I would have it all the time. And that's what I've done. And I continually replace it. So this one is definitely a must-have in my books. For hair care, it's not something that I talk a lot about on my channel simply because I don't even know how to classify my hair. It's sort of frizzy, sort of curly, definitely not straight, definitely thick. Like it's a mixed bag of messiness. That's what it is. But every now and then certain products come along that my hair just loves. And this is one of them. This is from Christophe Robin. It's the No Frizz Anti-Frizz Rescue Milk with Shea Butter. It's got quite the name. I got a deluxe sample of this and I immediately went and purchased the full size because my hair loves it. At least for like the first 2 days. Once I hit day 3, there's nothing in this world that's going to, tame the frizz and control my hair. But for the first 2 days, it kind of looks like this. It really does take the frizz out. It really helps with like styling it into some semblance of like uniform curl as much as my hair gets to. I just really, really like this product. I don't know what it is about it that my hair just enjoys so much, but it could be that it's silicone free. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what sorcery is in here, but I'm so damned grateful for it because it really has been a game changer with my hair care. Like it really does make an impact. There are a lot of leave-in conditioners that I'll put in my hair and my hair is just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But it doesn't really make an impact such that I really notice any difference. But with this product, I knew I saw the difference immediately the first time I used it and I hopped on over and I paid way more money than I was really comfortable paying, but it's worth it because a little goes a long way and I really, really like the results. Before we move back into makeup, let's talk fragrance. And again, this is one of those items that every time it was available as a sample, I just kept adding it to my cart because I loved it so much. I saved up my Shoppers Drug Mart points, and when I was doing a redemption event, I got a free bottle of it using points, and it's this guy here from Versace. This is Bright Crystal. I love it. It's so perfect for this time of year as well because it just has this brightness to it. Like it's not particularly floral, it's not particularly citrus, and yet it has that same kind of element to it. Like it's fun and it's almost fruity, but it's not cloying. It's not super sweet. There's definitely no like musk or anything like that to it. It's not what I would consider to be like a grown-up sexy kind of scent. That's sort of how I describe what's the Givenchy Divine Dahlia, if you can see that one in the background right there. That one has a much more like earthy sort of sexy scent to it. This one's just fun and flirty. I don't know how to describe scents. Can you tell? Are you picking that up? Because I'm definitely putting it down. But It's so nice. It's so nice. It's not overpowering. It's not a heavy scent. And even though it is like that brighter sort of scent, it does work in wintertime. There is just enough grounded to it. Like it's not, like I said, it's not too floral. It's not too citrusy. It's just a perfect blend. I could probably just read the description to you, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue stumbling along and pretending like I know what in the hell I'm talking about, because that's far more entertaining, isn't it? Indeed it is. If you have an option to get this as a sample, I suggest giving it a try because I love it and I don't know how to describe it, but I absolutely love it. I'm going to quickly mention this little sample sitting here. This one I have not bought the full size of, but I intend to at some point. This one is for Guerlain. This is the Aqua Allegoria in, oh God, I can't, it's gold lettering on a clear bottle and I can't for the life of me read it. Mandarin Basilic? Mandarin something. I don't know. But this one is definitely more citrusy. Like it definitely smells like there's actual mandarin juice squeezed into this. But I love it. It's so, so nice. It dissipates fairly quickly on the skin. That's the only downside to it, but it's just such a nice scent. Again, I've saved up some Shoppers Drug Mart points, cashed them in, but I didn't get the full size of this one. They have one in the exact same sort of bottle, but it's called Coconut Fizz. That's the one I got because I have a fair amount of a deluxe size sample here, but this is one that once this deluxe sample is done, I am definitely interested in purchasing the full size because I think it's just so, oh, it's so nice. It smells like a straight up orange. I love it. Okay, moving back into makeup. We just talked about a sample that I haven't bought the full size of yet, but I intend to. So let's do that again with a makeup product. Shouldn't really come as a surprise because I've been harping on this one for the last like 4 videos I've done. This is the Bite Upswing Full Volume Mascara. Oh, I love it so much. I love this mascara. I don't tend to get super excited about mascaras. They're really not a product that I'm like, wow, that's my favorite mascara ever. And yet, here we are. It's so perfect. It definitely does what it says, the upswing volume. It volumizes my lashes, it lifts them, the curl is there. I think it's fantastic. It doesn't clump, the formula is not too wet, not too dry. It's just perfect. There's no flakiness with it, it doesn't irritate my eyes, and yet, at the end of the day, when I want it to come off, it behaves itself and it washes off with no problem whatsoever. I don't have to scrub at my eyes. My lashes aren't sticky with this. There's no difficulty with it whatsoever. I 100% plan to buy the full size. I just currently have so many mascaras that it would be ridiculous for me to do so right now because I know with how much I like this that it's the only one I would use and the other ones would continue to sit in the drawer and languish. So I'm forcing myself to use some of those up. And then I will treat myself to another bottle of this tube. There it is. There we go. Love it. Now, another product that I tend not to get like super excited about are bronzers. I've just never really met a bronzer where I'm like, that has done transformative things for my face. I love it so much. But one that I really did enjoy the formula of and how much it blended out was this one here from Fenty. So this is the Sunstalker bronzer in, this one's Shady Biz. So this isn't the lightest, I think it might be the second lightest option, but I really liked the amount of pigmentation in it and like I said, just how easy it was to blend out. So I bought it in the full size of Indasun, which is, I believe, or at least at the time, the lightest option. So you can see the difference in them there. This one works really well on me in summer. This one is throughout the rest of the year and it's what I have on today as bronzer. I love that it's a matte bronzer, but it's not flat once it's on the skin. It really just blends into my skin really nicely so that you can't really see any demarcation. It just warms my face up, just that right amount. The undertone is perfect for me and I'm just really happy with this product overall. I've got nothing else to say about it. Again, it's a bronzer. I don't get super excited about them, but I have no regrets in this purchase. Up next is a concealer. This one is from Dior and it's the Forever Skin Correct Concealer in the shade 2N, which I have purchased in the full size. Once again, thank you Shoppers Drug Mart for being amazing. I didn't have to pay for this, I used points. I love that. Anyways, why I felt I needed this one when this is gonna last forever, I have no idea, but here we are. So this concealer here, I find it has a really good amount of coverage. I don't think it's the most coverage of the concealers that I have. I think even the Ordinary's concealer tops this one out just a little bit, but it has good coverage. Keep in mind, I do have very dark circles, and so I look for the extreme end of coverage when it comes to concealers. So if you don't struggle with the same kind of dark circle issues that I do, this is going to be more than sufficient coverage for you. The doe foot on it is a really nice slanted shape there, so it gets right in, even into the corner of my eye. My eyes are rather deep set, and this part in here gets a lot of shadowing. So I like to have the precision on the doe foot, and this one accomplishes that. It blends out really nicely. It's not drying under my eyes. It does show wear over the course of the day, but frankly, so does every concealer that I've tried. But it's not to the point where it just disappears and I wonder where in the hell it went. So overall, it is a concealer that I really do enjoy. But if you are on a budget, or even if you just are in the market for a good concealer, I would suggest checking out the one from The Ordinary. It's just called Concealer. It's so good. This one is good. The Ordinary is so good. We'll put it that way. Okay, we have 2 more items, and both of these items are ones that I purchased after the very first use of the sample for each of them. So up first is this. Surprisingly enough, first of all, it's an item from Benefit, and it's not a brow item. That's shocking in and of itself. Secondly, it's a setting spray. And again, I don't tend to get super excited about setting sprays. I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, it is what it is. Unless it's really bad, and then I'm like, no, God, no, that's awful. But this one blew me away. First of all, the atomizer on it, it's just such a fine little spray, but even on a sample size, the fact that they put that much attention to the detail where, sometimes I just feel like sometimes the samples aren't quite up to the standard of the full size, but they didn't cheap out on the packaging even on the sample. And I really liked that and gave me a lot of hope that the full size was going to be even better. And it is. It's, again, that same kind of pump. And it's almost to the point where it's like a continuous spray because you get so much in just one pump. It's a very fine spray, a very fine mist, I guess, but it doesn't leave any stickiness on my skin at all. I feel like all the powders that are on my skin just kind of meld really nicely together. It doesn't have any of that tightening effect that some setting sprays do. It doesn't add any glitter or mattify anything. It just helps to basically meld everything together, like I said, and that's sort of the effect that I'm hoping for when I use a setting spray. This one, I don't really notice any scent to it. I'm just going to open up. Yeah, there's even straight out of the bottle, there's no scent to it, which every now and then I do enjoy a good scent with my setting sprays, but it's nice to not have it because sometimes it can be a little bit too strong. For example, this one here from Dior, very heavily scented. I don't necessarily dislike the scent on it, but it is very heavily scented. So if you are sensitive to scents, that one's not going to be something you're going to enjoy, whereas this one very well might be. So I guess I should actually tell you what it's called. This is the Professional Super Setter, and the claims on it are that it's a lightweight microfine mist, check. It helps lock on makeup, check. Softens the look of pores. Pores aren't really something that I deal with, so I can't really talk about that, but I do find that it makes my makeup look like my skin is producing it. Does that make sense? That sounds really weird when I say it, but it doesn't look like I'm wearing makeup. This just helps everything just sink in and just look as natural as a full face of makeup can. And then the last claim on here is that it feels weightless. And again, check, 100%. You do not feel this on your skin at all. No stickiness, nothing of that sort. I am thoroughly impressed with this setting spray, and that's kind of saying something. But immediately after using it the first time, I knew I was going to buy the full size. And the same can be said for the last item that I'm going to talk about, and it's the foundation that I'm wearing today. It's from Makeup Forever, and it's the new Water Tone Foundation. So I had one of these little guys with the little blister packs inside, and they happen to have my shade, which is Y245. It's a perfect match for my skin. When I first apply it, it looks shockingly light, but it blends out so nicely that you really can't tell the difference between my neck and my face once it's blended. But honestly, it just looks like my skin. You cannot see the makeup whatsoever, and yet it's like my skin but better. So if you think of like a really sheer lip gloss, how it just emphasizes your lips, makes them look just that much better, that's what this foundation does for me. It's not so much that it's all about coverage, because it is very much on the lighter end of the coverage spectrum, but it just enhances my skin. It makes it look so healthy, so flawless. I love this foundation. It is just super lightweight. It is a rather runny, sort of liquidy kind of foundation, which it's called water tone, so it should be expected. And yet it just enhances. It just makes me feel pretty. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to explain it. It just does. Now it says that it's transfer proof. I don't know about that. Not 100%. It's definitely not like in the top offenders of transfer, but it will transfer a little bit. So I'll just put that out there. Haven't noticed any sort of oxidization with it. There is a bit of a scent to it, but it's not overpowering. Let me just get right in there. It kind of reminds me of that scent that YSL adds to like fucking everything in their line, except bring it down about 10 notches. So it's got that same sort of almost artificial floral scent to it, but at a way less aggressive level than what YSL has. So it's a watered down YSL. There it is. I love it. I even like the packaging on it, like the nice glass bottle. It's got a nice little pump. It's just very functional, nothing fussy about it at all. I am so impressed with this. The longevity on it is there. Highly, highly recommend checking out a sample if you can get your hands on it, or one of those little blister packs, because they have a few options for shades in there. But I freaking love it as a day-to-day foundation. Love it. So there you have it, guys. Those are 10 items plus an honorable mention of items that the samples just knocked my socks off and I had to have the full size of. So I'd love to hear from you. What are some items that you tried the sample of and just fell in love with? Let me know down in the comments below. But for now, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.